Coming up on the Daily O, a possible end is on the horizon. Inflation rates have continued to hurt families here in Oklahoma and throughout the nation. The latest report released this morning may be a sign of better things to come. Investors over employers. One top oil company in Oklahoma has made a move lined to fill the pockets of their shareholders, leaving their employees to hit the road. Also, Stillwater Police is now asking for your help in locating a suspect for burglary. All that and more straight ahead. The Daily O starts right now.
Good evening and happy Thursday. Welcome back to this Thursday edition of the Daily O. I'm Emma Lightfoot. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight's broadcast here in Stillwater as police are now asking for your help to locate a suspect accused of burglary. The suspect, shown on the screen, has reportedly been using a crowbar to gain access into multiple machines throughout the city, causing damages and taking money. Anyone with information about the suspect is encouraged to call the Stillwater Police Department tip line at 405-533-8477. One of the leading issues that families in America face is the rise in prices due to inflation. While inflation rates have not been tamed by the Federal Reserve just yet, some analysts say that things are improving. Americans paid 7.7% more for items during the 12-month period that ended in October, according to the Consumer Price Index report released on Thursday. The Consumer Price Index dropped slightly from 8.2% in September, and some economic officials say this shows inflation is moving in the right direction. On top of rising inflation costs means housing prices will follow suit. Home prices across the U.S. rose this summer, even though the housing market was cooling. That's according to a new report by the National Association of Realtors. It tracked home prices in 185 cities over the summer and found prices increased in all but 4 cities. Nearly half the cities saw double-digit increases from 2020. The price jumps have since slowed substantially due to the rise in mortgage rates. Experts say because of both rising prices and rates, the median income now needed to buy a typical home is $88,300 per year. That's almost $40,000 more than it was prior to the start of the pandemic. One of the nation's largest oil refiners is cutting jobs and passing the savings on to shareholders. Houston-based Phillips 66 plans to slash at least 1,100 jobs by the end of this year. The reductions come despite the fact that Phillips 66 raked in more than $9 billion in profit this year. Company stock has soared 45%, while the broader S&P 500 has lost 20% in the same time period. Phillips 66 says it plans to return between $10 and $12 billion to shareholders over the next 2 years. The company owns over 350 stations throughout Oklahoma, the second largest in the nation. Back here in Stillwater, Oklahoma State houses one of the top aviation programs in the nation. For one student, he looks to take advantage of his opportunity at OSU to make his dreams a reality. Michaela Kiersey has more.
It is many people's dream to fly, but not all get the chance to live that dream. Jonathan Byers is chasing his dream and making it a reality. Byers first got his interest in flight when he was very young, watching his dad work on airplanes, specifically F-35s. Soon, Byers realized his dream to be a pilot because he loved aviation and wanted to fly. Byers got his first license at Meacham Airport in Fort Worth, Texas at 17 years old, then decided to travel all the way to Oklahoma State University for college, where he could broaden his horizons. Byers said the moment he stepped on campus, he fell in love with it and knew that this is exactly where he was meant to be at the time. He has now been flying for over 5 years.
I didn't realize it was an achievable goal until I came to OSU and realized they had a really good program. Then once I got here, I got my instrument license and my commercial license at OSU. And then now I'm working on my flight instructor license here at Hangar 1, which is where I am now.
Byers said the toughest thing about flying was learning how to fly in bad weather or extremely cloudy conditions, but he overcame these struggles and passed all of his flight tests. Byers plans to move to Hawaii after graduation to fly for a company called Fly Maui. He will also be a flight instructor there as well. He dreams to one day fly private planes for famous people and eventually to fly his favorite plane, an F-35. Jonathan is now living out his dream by taking flight, and he plans to thrive in the sky.
Thanks for that, Michaela. Part 1 down, 3 more to go here on the Daily O. When we return, one Cowboy football player is up for a national award. We'll tell you who it is, plus the latest in the Kyrie Irving saga. Find out about that and more when the Daily O resumes.
Pecans are staple to Oklahoma. In fact, many of our native pecans come from trees that are older than Oklahoma statehood.
My father's the one that got us started into the pecan picking. I was probably 10 or 12 years old, and we started off with one little mechanical picker that you pulled behind a four-wheeler. Then we'd go home at night and we'd clean them on a TV tray. I guess watching my dad work hard when we were young, and people started trusting him and getting more and more groves, we just kept growing.
Being a relatively new and fresh company, we get to sit in the same room with people who have been a part of the Oklahoma economy for decades.
It's opened a lot of doors. It's gave us quite a bit of exposure, and I think people, will take a small company like us a little more serious. We're just going to continue growing as long as our community lets us and our customers keep on buying, and we'll see where it takes us.
I'm Kristen Hawkins. I went to Oklahoma State University here in Stillwater in '99 to 2004. I've always felt like Stillwater needed more family-friendly things to do, and we have opened up AR Workshop. We do everything from knitting blankets that can be done in a 3-hour class. We create doormats and porch signs, the Christmas wreaths with our yarn that we use for the blankets. We also do, we just started a new project for gnomes. We've done pumpkins during the fall, but our big thing that we do here are interior signs. Our designs are extremely unique to AR Workshop. Customers come in, everything is here for them to do. They create everything. They can be as hands-on as they want. They came in here to relax and have fun, and that they are proud of their project that they've made.
You may have been to casinos at some point in your life, but do you really know the truth behind the game you're playing?
And the casinos were very polemic or very controversial when they came out. But the truth was, that's all the federal government gave us.
Casino is owned by the Chickasaw Nation and has roughly 600,000 square feet of dedicated gambling space, making it the world's largest casino. It contributed massively to the Chickasaw Nation, posting a net revenue of $1.4 billion for the fiscal year of 2017.
Welcome back to the Daily O. We're starting off our sports news today with a Cowboy football player who is receiving some national recognition. OSU kicker Tanner Brown has been named as a semifinalist for the Lou Groza Collegiate Place Kicker Award. Brown has a success rate of over 90% on his kicks. He's one of just 5 FBS kickers to do that, with at least 16 attempts. Brown is also 8th overall in scoring in the FBS, kicking in just over 10 points per game. He's made 5 kicks measuring in at 40 yards or more, including one from 52 yards out. This is the first season the senior has been a semifinalist for the award, which is given annually to the nation's top place kicker. Finalists will be chosen on September 29th, and the winner will be revealed on December 8th. Let's take a quick look into your national headlines from across the sports world today. Starting on the gridiron, where the Las Vegas Raiders are only 2-6 on the season, and things aren't looking up. The Raiders are set to place star tight end Darren Waller on injured reserve. Waller was originally sidelined with a hamstring injury he suffered in Week 5. A month later, and he's still not close to returning. Being put on IR will mean that Waller misses at least 4 more games. The Raiders are sure to miss this tight end, who was good enough to sign a 3-year extension worth $51 million before the season began. The Raiders are already struggling, and Waller won't be able to return until Week 14 when the Raiders play the Rams. Moving over to the diamond, shortly after helping the Astros to a World Series victory, Justin Verlander has chosen to become a free agent. The star pitcher has opted out of his last year of his contract with the Astros, which would have been worth $25 million. The 39-year-old recorded 185 strikeouts in 175 innings and 28 starts last season, to go along with a 1.75 ERA. Verlander is a finalist for the Cy Young Award, the winner of which will be announced next week. As one of the best free agent pitchers in the game, he can expect to garner major interest from teams around the league. And in the basketball world, Kyrie Irving continues to suffer the consequences of his controversial behavior. Phil Knight, the co-founder of Nike, said that the relationship between Irving and Nike is likely over for good. The brand deal is the latest piece of the fallout for Irving after he tweeted a link to a documentary which contained Holocaust denial and other harmful conspiracy theories about Jewish people. Irving is currently suspended by the Nets and might be working toward an eventual return to the court. But after 7 versions of his signature shoe with Nike, it looks like he's losing the endorsement deal, which has a speculated worth of over $10 million. We're going to take another break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll preview the Cowboys basketball game tonight, as well as what you need to know about Week 10 of Thursday Night Football. This is the Daily O.
Our state is one of the most beautiful and unique states in the USA. With diverse geographies, the historic Route 66, unforgettable restaurants, and some of the greatest people on the planet. With so much to see and so much to do, living in Oklahoma means one of the best vacation spots is right in our own backyard. Doesn't this story need to be told? As filmmakers and photographers based right here in Oklahoma, we thought so. And hey, who doesn't like a good road trip? So, we packed up our cameras, teamed up with Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell and the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department, and that's how this series was born. We want to show you why traveling within the great state of Oklahoma is a great idea. So come join us for thousands of miles over the next year, from Broken Bow to Black Mesa. This is the Oklahoma Road Trip.
Ace in the Bowl salsa started many, many years ago. I was trying to find a recipe to take to a family gathering, and so I started messing around with different recipes, and I took a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and I came up with a salsa that is truly unique. Ace in the Bowl salsa is an olive oil-based salsa with tomatoes, green chilies, green onions, and black olives. There's no sugar added, it's gluten-free, low-calorie, low-carb, low-fat, low sodium. So it's a very, very, very good alternative to any snack you may want. As of right now, I'm just looking to be in Oklahoma and having a successful business within the state. If my grandkids could ever take it over when they're old enough, that would be my dream.
A Golf Digest 5-star course, best new public course won and opened in 1994, and a top 100 public golf course in America since 2003. This course, just 5 miles outside of Stillwater, Oklahoma on Highway 51, is named after one of the influential golf pioneers this game has known.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek's a modern golf course.
The beauty of the course is in large part to the elements of the grounds. The Georgia fairway is transformed from its original forested landscape. Georgia was used to combat the tough winters so golfers could play year-round. The greens are large and sloping bent grass hills. The low-cut bent grass can be similar to glass during peak championship conditions. The bunkers surrounding most holes remind golfers of a white beach rather than a deep hazard. Lake Louise, surrounded by the second 9, completes the perfect finishing hole. The long par 72 course perfectly combines nature with the difficulty of a championship course. Karsten's added challenge is the Oklahoma wind.
So there aren't any other schools in the country that have that same commitment to college golf as we do here at Oklahoma State.
But if you're going to play at the highest level, you've got to be able to focus on where you want to go, and Karsten Creek does a good job of training you to do that, because if you don't, you're going to have a long day. And that's a great legacy that Coach Holder left, because that's the way he coached.
Welcome back into the Daily O. Thanks for sticking around. The OKC Thunder played a lot of basketball last night. Their game versus the Milwaukee Bucks went into double overtime, with the Bucks ultimately winning 136-132. Thunder star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander showed out with 39 points, including a step-back three near the end of the first overtime to keep the game alive. Josh Giddey, Trey Mann, Lou Dort, and Alexei Pokusevski all chipped in for the Thunder with double digits as well. But it was the Bucks who got the last laugh, as the Thunder just couldn't keep it going in the second overtime. A career-high 36 points from Bucks guard Javon Carter and 24 from Brook Lopez were enough to lead the visiting team to victory. The Thunder will be back in action tomorrow night in OKC versus the Toronto Raptors. That game will tip off at 7 p.m. Moving things over to the college hardwood, after starting the season strong with a win over UT Arlington on Monday, Cowboy basketball is back in action tonight. The also 1-0 Southern Illinois Salukis are coming to town. The SIU team beat Arkansas Little Rock by 31 on Monday, but may face tougher competition tonight in the Gallagher-Iba Arena. The Cowboys had 3 players score in double figures last game, and will look to keep it up tonight. The game tips off at 7 p.m. in GIA. Week 10 of the NFL season kicks off tonight in Charlotte, where the Atlanta Falcons are coming in to play the Carolina Panthers. It'll be a rematch of the two teams' Week 8 matchup, which was decided in thrilling fashion in overtime. Back in Week 8, the Panthers sent it to OT when quarterback P.J. Walker completed a Hail Mary pass for a touchdown to DJ Moore. But it was the Falcons who prevailed, when kicker Younghoe Koo nailed a 41-yarder to put it away. Tonight is a new game, however, and while the Panthers have fallen to 2-7 and the bottom of the NFC South, the Falcons are 4-5 and are competing for the top spot in that very same division. The game will kick off at 7:15 p.m. on Amazon Prime Video. It's time for our last break, but when we come back, find out what happened on this day in sports history. Plus, help us send out some happy birthday wishes to a few sports stars.
We would design something, it was set on the counter, and people was either, if enough of them said, you know, this isn't it, it never made to the line. Dad was excited that they're all original. They were all designed on Mom's kitchen table, and it gets in your blood after a while.
We're very happy that Pamela and Michael have taken over the business and kept the family going.
We took the business over in 2017. When we found that it was available, we wanted to keep the legacy of family alive, but it was also incredible products that deserved to be a part of Made in Oklahoma's story. We were a part of Made in Oklahoma years ago, and so it kind of grew as Made in Oklahoma grew.
Oklahoma is ingrained into everything that we did. We've been here most of our life. That's what we entailed our whole business on, was the Oklahoma homegrown feeling.
My name's Kayla. I've been here since the beginning, so 4 years. Scratch is more focused on farm and mostly Made in Oklahoma products, keeping it local. Sustainability is our biggest thing. That's one of the reasons why this place opened.
I've been the chef here at Scratch for 2.5 years. Started here as a line cook. Our food and drinks are a bit separate entities almost inside the restaurant. So the food is now up to 85% of the products we bring in are raised or grown locally. It's all based off of things that I grew up eating in Southern Oklahoma, the things my grandparents ate.
Fresh food, clean food, organic food, sustainability, that's all of our thing. From front of house to back of house, we're able to maintain both with freshness. But Made in Oklahoma means we get it straight from the farms that are 20, 30 minutes, another little county away. We get it straight from them.
My name is James Ramidi. Fired Up Stilly is the name of the business, and I'm one of the owners. We all three met, the three owners, working as employees at a similar place like this. What I hope for is for everybody to feel welcome, like family. Not only do I want students to feel welcome to come here and study and use our free Wi-Fi, but also I want adults and families to be able to come in. We've built a connection with a lot of people, and Stillwater's a big community, so we just want to invite everybody to be able to eventually make their way through our doors. Well, definitely the teas, I would say. Most people fall in love with them. They just got a great amount of energy, gets you going through your day, and it just kickstarts you to get everything you need to done. For myself, it would just have to be, being the owner, owning something that, is able to impact other people's lives, and, the way we can affect our community is something that I really have always wanted to do. We love our clients and our customers that come through every day, and we enjoy getting to know them.
Over the years, we kind of realized that you can get ribs anywhere, you can get a steak anywhere, but you can't always get a Mountain View hot link like ours. So we really decided to focus on that niche and realized we had something really special. So that's when we started focusing more on the hot links, but it's still the same family recipe they were making all those years ago. For us, many of our people that work here have been with us for years and decades. So whereas machines kind of break down over time, the people just get better. And it shows in the products we produce. When you buy a Mountain View product, not only is it going to taste dynamite, but you're also feeding Oklahomans. You're helping employ Oklahomans, and you're helping to fund the state's economy. So what's better than that?
Welcome back to the Daily O. It's time to turn back the clocks and look into the sports history book for today. Going back all the way to 1934, when the first ever NHL penalty shot was taken by Armando Mondu. The shot by the Canadiens forward was stopped by Toronto Maple Leafs goaltender George Hainsworth, and the Leafs won the game 2-1. Fast forwarding to 1988, Los Angeles pitcher Orel Hershiser was a unanimous choice for the National League Cy Young Award. He was the first player to win the Cy Young Award, NL Championship Series MVP, and World Series MVP in the same season. He finished the year leading the league in wins, complete games, shutouts, and innings pitched. Now it's time to give a happy birthday shout-out to some big-time athletes, starting with Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy, who turns 59 today. McCarthy is in his 16th year as an NFL coach and spent his first 13 seasons coaching the Green Bay Packers. He and Aaron Rodgers worked together to win Super Bowl 45 for the Packers. McCarthy has been to the playoffs 9 times and has an overall record of 149, 94, and 2 as a head coach. Next is baller-turned-broadcaster Kendrick Perkins, who turns 38 today. Perkins played 14 seasons in the NBA for the Celtics, Thunder, Pelicans, and Cavaliers. Perkins won the 2008 NBA Finals with the Celtics and made multiple deep playoff runs with the Thunder. He now works as an analyst for ESPN. Last is golfer John Ram, who turns 28 today. The Spaniard has won seven PGA Tour tournaments, including one major, the 2021 U.S. Open. He joined the tour in 2016 and has also played for the Spanish national team. Let's take one last look at our national headlines before we end today's show. Starting on the gridiron, where the Las Vegas Raiders are only 2-6, and things aren't looking up. The Raiders are set to place star tight end Darren Waller on injured reserve. Waller was originally sidelined with a hamstring injury he suffered in Week 5. A month later, and he's still not close to returning. Being put on IR will mean that Waller misses at least 4 more games. The Raiders are sure to miss this tight end, who was good enough to sign a 3-year extension worth $51 million before the season began. The Raiders are already struggling, and Waller won't be able to return until Week 14, when the Raiders play the Rams. Moving over to the diamond, shortly after helping the Astros to a World Series victory, Justin Verlander has chosen to become a free agent. The star pitcher has opted out of the last year of his contract with the Astros, which would have been worth $25 million. The 39-year-old recorded 185 strikeouts in 175 innings and 28 starts last season, to go along with a 1.75 ERA. Verlander is a finalist for the Cy Young Award, the winner of which will be announced next week. As one of the best free agent pitchers in the game, he can expect to garner major interest from teams around the league. And in the basketball world, Kyrie Irving continues to suffer the consequences of his controversial behavior. Phil Knight, the co-founder of Nike, said that the relationship between Irving and Nike is likely over for good. The brand deal is the latest piece of the fallout for Irving after he tweeted a link to a documentary which contained Holocaust denial and other harmful conspiracy theories about Jewish people. Irving is currently suspended by the Nets and might be working toward an eventual return to the court. But after 7 versions of his signature shoe with Nike, it looks like he's losing the endorsement deal, which has a speculated worth of over $10 million. That will wrap things up for this Thursday edition of the Daily O. Tune back in tomorrow as Brody Myers and Connor Bergen will have you covered on all things news and sports throughout Stillwater. For the Daily O, I'm Emma Lightfoot. Good night, everyone.
Hi, I'm Shauna here at Where the Buffalo Roam in beautiful downtown Pawnee, Oklahoma. We have a lot of beautiful and unique items for sale in the store, but our number one items are Navajo jewelry, Pendleton blankets, and Consuela. It's a great place to shop, a beautiful downtown, so come see us in Pawnee, Oklahoma.
I'm Kristen Hawkins. I went to Oklahoma State University here in Stillwater in 99 to 2004. I've always felt like Stillwater needed more family-friendly things to do, and we have opened up AR Workshop. We do everything from knitting blankets that can be done in a 3-hour class. We create doormats and porch signs, the Christmas wreaths with our yarn that we use for the blankets. We also do, we just started a new project for gnomes. We've done pumpkins during the fall, but our big thing that we do here are interior signs. Our designs are extremely unique to AR Workshop. Customers come in, everything is here for them to do. They create everything. They can be as hands-on as they want. They came in here to relax and have fun, and that they are proud of their project that they've made.
Hopes are when folks drink our water is that they'll drink it for a few days and find out the difference. They'll start feeling better because there's been no chemical in our water. There's a list of good things that we have. We don't have any bad things in it. I see the future of Divine Water as being worldwide, which will bring outside dollars into the state. It means a lot to me because I started it, I guess, and our family started it.
Well, how I got started was my daughter said, "Mama, why don't we rent a booth at the Quarter Horse Show?" And it was very, very good because, you know, when you're giving your jelly away for free, people really do love it. But when you ask them to pay for it, then that's a true test. What makes my product so unique is the Scotch bonnet pepper. And the Scotch bonnet is the Jamaican pepper. And I had lived in Montego Bay, Jamaica for 4 years. So I learned how to handle the pepper and how to cook with it. I always say, you don't do this on your own. I mean, you have so many people that help you along the way. For me and for many of us, that's my name on that jar, and it better be good.